UFC coming back to Jacksonville Saturday, UFC Fight Night, and it's actually during the day. The undercard starts at noon, Brent, with the main event at 3 o'clock. 14 fight cards on Saturday at the arena. Welcome back. It's Action Sports Jax Primetime. Mickey and Martineau. We are going to fight on the undercard. It's exciting.
Yeah, out in the parking lot,
Not
probably.
since the classic, what was the sprint race we did at the Gator Nationals, which I beat you.
Yeah, no, I illegally won, I think.
Yeah. Will there be a competition between you and I?
Yeah,
so this will be fun.
In the parking lot. Next Saturday, you go outside in the parking lot, practice falling down, and I'll be out there and meet you soon enough. This guy will be out there. Our buddy Austen Lane, former Jags player turned mixed martial arts fighter. Been an up and down ride to finally make it to the dream of a fighter. On the card of the UFC, Austin is ready for it. It's a home game for the Jacksonville resident.
Yeah, I'm very fired up. I mean, it's been a lot of years of training, a lot of years of hard work, and I feel like this moment coming up here June 24th, it's going to justify all that hard work.
How about this one being in the backyard? I mean, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is your hometown now. I know it's not where you came from, but it's your adopted hometown for you and your family. I mean, it's kind of neat for this to all unfold. I know you tried to get in on 24-hour notice.
I did, yeah.
One time, but
I mean, I was on Twitter saying I'll walk over right now and fight. You know, it means everything, and the fact that people want to say that there's added pressure to me, I mean, added pressure, what are we even talking about here? Because I get to sleep in my own bed. I get to go to an arena I've been to hundreds of times before. I get to train in a city that I've been here for the past 10 years. To me, that's an advantage. That's a competitive advantage. So as far as pressure is concerned, zero pressure at all, man. I'm ready to go out there, showcase my skills, have fun, and to do it in front of a crowd that supported me when I played football, and now is going to be there for my second chapter of MMA. That's pretty special.
What do you know about this guy? I mean, and your opponent. I mean, you just said it, right? It's elite of the elite, so everything's going to be challenging. What's your thought on your opponent?
I think when you talk about the UFC matchmaking, they know exactly what they're doing, especially for my UFC debut. This is a guy who's a striker. If you know anything about my style, I'm also a striker. He's had a run in the UFC before. They've let him go, and they brought him back on. So when you watch his evolution of Justin Taffa, the guy that I'll be fighting, this is a guy who has made mistakes in his past as well and corrected those mistakes. A very patient fighter looking for the knockout. So, I can study as much film as I want, and which I have studied, but at the end of the day, it's what I do well, and it's making sure that I'm, in mind to go out there and dominate. So that's where I'm at right now.
You did have the arm injury.
Yeah.
And, I mean, everything's good. I mean, that's a significant injury, right?
No, it was a big time injury. So I ended up tearing my bicep literally 3 weeks before my UFC debut in Australia. And it was a routine training session. Threw a punch I threw a million times, and for whatever reason, on that day, my bicep wasn't agreeing with me, and I tore my bicep completely off the bone. Had surgery the next day, and it was during the Jaguars playoff game against the Chargers, so I missed that game as well. So it was just a crappy day in general. But that I don't want to say it was a blessing in disguise, because it was an injury and it sucked, and it sucked to recover and rehab. But you know what? I learned so much more from just being on the sidelines, watching my teammates go about their business, that I probably wouldn't have noticed if I was training on the mats every single day. So I did make the most of it. I had surgery, and literally the next day I was back training again, hitting with my other arm, everything like that. So it's one of those things where it is what you make of it, and it was unfortunate. I don't ever have it happen again. But with that being said, I made the most of it.
Is there something cool about you don't care about spotlight and all that me stuff, but at the same time, it's going to be on TV for everyone to see. You talk about the road and the journey all the way back Wisconsin to the Murray State. You've been in different spots. People know you in different avenues of your life. So is that kind of neat that they can pop on the TV on Saturday, June 24th, and hey man, I know that guy.
Yeah, it's really cool from the fact too that the way I approach things, I'm just being myself. I think sometimes in the UFC you have to get on Twitter, talk some smack, offend some people, and then your name gets known a little more. I've never done that. I've never been about that. I've always come up with the philosophy, especially in fighting, where the violence will always speak for itself. And I think if you watch my performances, if you watch what I've done in the cage, the violence has spoke for itself. So yeah, I'm not sure when I win what I'm going to say on the microphone or anything like that. It'll be spontaneous like it always is. But I'm just excited to, obviously showcase my skill set.
Action Sports Jax Primetime, Saturday at 10:30 on Fox 30.